We are inching closer to halfway through this season, thank God. So far, the gameplay is still at a very low level, and very few of these players have actually improved their gameplay since the beginning of this season. And by very few people, I mean Matt and Blue, basically. Maybe even Bowie Jane, who knows? But outside of those three, I don't think anybody has improved their gameplay since the very first week in this game. Still a lot of dumb decision making going on. Yesterday morning started with after America basically told Matt and Jag that she was the person giving Cam so much information. Matt was feeling some type of way, and he started to play his little both sides game again by ratting some of her out to Suri, kind of giving Suri the idea that there could be that alliance starting between Matt, Jag, and Corey, America. So Matt, I still like the game he's playing. I like that he's playing all angles and doing it in a way where he's not getting any blood on his hands, unlike some people we'll talk about today. As for Blue, she's still pushing her own agenda as well, which we will also try and get to, but she's going to have a harder time than Matt doing what she needs to do. She's now trying to play that similar style to what Matt is doing. They've even had a conversation about it, like I've talked about it in the last few days. I do like that Blue is one of very few people in this game actually trying to take her game into her own hands, because outside of her and Matt and Corey and Jared, nobody else is really doing it. And Corey is doing it he's doing some good stuff, but I still think his social game is ass, which we'll get to. And then Jared is trying to take his game into his own hands, but he's making all the wrong decisions per usual. Jared missed the blinking obvious move, like I talked about on Friday, I think, that he needed Cam in this game because Cam is the shield in front of him, but that continues to be something this cast does, and taking out their own shields. And a lot of that comes down to ego. And I've defended the guys in this game when it comes to personal attacks against them that I have thought have been too much and over the top and just downright hypocritical when women in this game are doing the same, if not worse things. But on a game level, a lot of the guys in this game are doing a bad job because of their fragile male egos. And it's something a lot of us men fail with sometimes. But people like Cameron and Jared and even Corey take their egos too far, and I think that is a big reason why they are where they are. Cam did not do a very good job pitching yesterday, in my opinion. He tried to pitch to the other guys, sans Corey, that he can be like a hitman for them and take out who they need to take out. He just wants to get to jury because of his kid, and I just don't think they were listening. You know, he tried to tell Jared that people were planning his demise this week, but that's where Jared's ego comes in. He doesn't really buy it, despite Cameron kind of throwing Jag and Matt under the bus in that conversation with them in the same room. Jared is blinded by his ego. He thinks he knows everything about this game. He thinks he is going to be the legend that his mother is in competition reality, and he's not going to be after this season. Although, unpopular opinion, I would like to see Jared on the challenge, because they need a villain on the challenge. The challenge desperately needs new blood villains that they just don't have. But as for Jared in this game, he has made so many bad mistakes. He continues to hurt Suri's game. Suri's starting to have good reads on the game again after being depressed for a few days with Izzy being gone. But when she comes to Jared with information that she's getting from Matt, and that she's seeing throughout the house, and that she's seeing that Corey and America want to get to the end with Jag, and Jag is just going along with it because, like I talked about yesterday, Jag needs to be held by his little hand, because when he's not being held by his little hand, he thinks he's being bullied because people are lying to him in a game about lying. Hate Jag. But then when Suri comes to Jared with information, Jared shoots it down because he doesn't see it. And Suri can now see that people are probably coming for her and Jared, or at least for Jared next week, but Jared's oblivious because he's missing the obvious move. He missed the obvious move. He did when Jag took Corey off the block. He put up Cameron and probably either sealed his fate in the game or his mother's fate in the game. But before we get to more of the drama with Suri and Jared, let's talk about Corey's ego, because he is another one with an ego. He's doing a lot of good in trying to continue to throw Jared and Suri under the bus, and for the, short-term future, that's great. That is good for his game. He has thrown them under the bus to Mimi and Felicia, and it has mostly worked. I mean, Felicia's a very emotional player, so it's working very good on her. It also works on Mimi to an extent, but Mimi does not trust America whatsoever. And she's also had a hard time trusting Corey this whole game, so it's not going to totally work on Mimi. But where Corey goes wrong, to me, will continue to be his social game. Because while he is continuing to make new alliances, he made a new alliance yesterday with America, Mimi, and Felicia. Felicia was gung-ho about it. Mimi was quiet the whole time. So I don't know if Mimi's very big on that alliance, but she's not going to say no to an alliance. So Corey's making that, but then right after that, he's talking about how if he wins the HOH, he's going to nominate Suri and Felicia. And so he's just going to, once again, show his cards right away. So he would get out the target he wants out, but then he grows his own target yet again, which he also continues to do a lot of. And yesterday, Matt trusts Corey to an extent. Matt does not trust America at all, though, once again. But he also does have some questions about Corey. Jag is gung-ho for Corey in America right now, and is the one person trying to convince Matt to also work with Corey in America. But then Cameron's going around the whole house talking about how Corey is aligned with everyone, and Corey is still playing that game. And literally on feeds yesterday, at the exact same time that Cameron's throwing Corey under the bus about having alliances with everyone, is the exact same time Corey is making yet a new alliance with America, Mimi, and Felicia. So Corey is quickly kind of being caught up in that. And so with it working, though, on Felicia and Mimi, I do see them also now possibly putting up Jared and Suri going into this double. I think the only person that maybe wouldn't put up Suri if he wins the double would be Matt, but I think Matt will be the one person who actually does throw the double. Now, a lot of people are talking about throwing the next HOH, but when they see it's a double, I don't know if they will actually do so. I think Matt will still try and throw it, however. Maybe even Blue, if she is playing the type of game that she has started to play, she might also throw it. But I don't know if, I guess, you could say, I don't think Mimi will if she sees it as a double, but maybe she will too. Either way, though, a lot of different people are probably going to put up Jared and Suri, although Corey said he would put up Felicia and Suri first so he can try and backdoor Jared so he can't play for the veto. Regardless, Jared or Suri is in trouble, and a lot of that has to do with, it is their own faults, like 100%. Suri played a lot of this game getting out her own allies, especially some allies that would be shields for her in this game. It was major mistakes and way too early in the game to do that, like we've talked about it. I beat the dead horse to death about the Heisem thing. Now, Suri has realized that getting Heisem out was a mistake, but it might be a little too late to realize that mistake, and now she doesn't really have a shield besides Jared, who she would rather keep in the game over her because it's her son. Now, Felicia still doesn't see that getting out Heisem was a mistake. She still doesn't see that. Felicia might have a big-ass head, but in that big-ass head is a pretty little peanut-sized brain. And just like I said last year when I made fun of somebody with a big head, I also have a big ass head, so I can make fun of somebody else with a big ass head. You can complain in the comments. I won't care, though, so whatever. Felicia has a big ass head, but a small brain on a game level in this game. She's playing emotionally, and getting out Jared or Suri is a shield in front of her, because she has not been seen as a target after last week, but she will be again when either Jared or Suri goes. But she doesn't see the mistake she made on her HOH getting out Heisem, and she sounds really dumb right now trying to get out Jared or Suri. However, that's kind of a trend. Another trend this season is getting out shields. I talked about yesterday that if it's going to go Cameron and Jared out back to back, then Jag's target should be pretty huge, because he's the other person that has won a lot of challenges so far this season. Because not a lot of people have won challenges. It's mostly been Cameron, Jared, and now Jag of the people left. So Jag's target will grow if those two go out of the house, but he doesn't see that. And the same goes for Corey. Once Cameron and Jared are out of the house, last night, Corey and America very publicly talking about their showmans, very publicly to everyone. Everyone's going to see them as a showmans, and it's just inevitably going to mean those two are going to end up on the block together once again. And Corey, if he continues to grow his target, is going to be the next big target in line, getting rid of Jared and Cameron. And I guess you could say Suri. Like, I would say that if Jared and Cameron go in a normal season, because Suri's like the only person left of that alliance other than, I guess, Blue. They kind of see Blue thrown in that as well, but Blue has more connections right now to Jag and America and Matt. But I still think the house might go after Suri because they continue to take out shields in front of them. So unless Suri can get her mist back and convince them that she is a shield for them, they will probably target her as well. And so if all of if this trend keeps happening, the final two will 100% be Bowie and Mimi, because everybody else will have gotten the shields in front of them out, and then they're the next big target. That's kind of the trend I see. We'll see if anybody can put a stop to that trend, but I don't see it going out these next couple of weeks. Suri's been clinging to Bowie Jane right now. I think that's one person she's clinging on to, and it actually could be a key to her staying in this game. If Jared and Suri are on the block together, I think slightly more people are targeting Jared than Suri, but Felicia's, I think, angry at Suri than she is Jared, and I think that Blue is going around trying to change the target from Jared to Suri, which I like from Blue. I think that's very smart. That helps Blue's game. If Jared stays in the game and not Suri, Blue can still have some sides to play. But I think Matt is likely to get his way and Jared go before Suri. And then Matt has Suri to play his sides. So I do like the kind of tug-of-war that's going on between Matt and Blue at this kind of like social level to see who gets to keep their person in the game that they might be able to kind of rely on, kind of for a shield, but also to play with. I do like that going on. Right now it is America and Cameron on the block. Sure, Cameron can throw America under the bus for a lot of things. She kind of preemptively threw herself under the bus, but not to everyone. So it could change some minds, but it's likely too little, too late. And Cameron's such a big target with him being on the block because Jared made the dumb move of putting him on the block so that Jared can then become the next house target. Either Jared or his mother becomes the next house target. It's a very poor move from Jared. So I think Cameron likely goes over America, but we'll see. I'm sick of America and Corey still, though, because last night, anytime we're getting some game talk, the feeds cut to America and Corey together with their cringy showmans. And then they were having another fight. America, they were drinking last night. They got some alcohol, and then America's drinking and upset with Corey again. And then before that, she's throwing Corey's kissing under the bus again to multiple people in the house. America's messy. And, Corey just puts up with it because he is indeed a simp. That's where we stand. Cameron's likely going home, and then at the double, unless Cirie wins the HOH, it's likely Cirie and Jared on the block, or maybe Felicia and one of those two on the block. Mimi, I'm going to be honest, I need to start seeing way more from Mimi. She is literally only a few notches above Bowie Jane in my book. She's not quite a coaster like Bowie, but she is not aggressive with her game whatsoever. And so she kind of just gets pulled in different directions, but not necessarily in a good way, because if it was in a good way, she wouldn't be so upset with Jared and Cirie right now, because Mimi would have had her own multiple alliances of her own, maybe not as extreme as everybody else, but she would have at least had some pivoting maneuvers. But so many people can't pivot in this game, or they pivot to an extreme and take out the shields in front of them.